Okay, you heard it right here. Vulvagun with Arise Neophyte from the Cold Moon Over Babylon CD. And right now I have on Skype with me Wayne Dwyer of Vulvagun. How you doing, Wayne?
Yeah, good, thanks, Jim. How are you?
All right, I appreciate the time, and I know you're enjoying a hot holiday right there in Australia, aren't you?
Yeah, it's blistering. It's we go by Celsius here, and I think today's heading towards 40, and it's sweltering, so it's great.
All right, I appreciate the time you're going to give me this evening, and I have to ask first, okay? Because I know what. Even Carl had mentioned it to me once before. How did you get the name Vulvagun?
Okay, it was just an idea. Originally, I wrote a song called Vulvagun, which was pretty much the first song that was written for this project, and the song was about the power of the female, the power of women, and having them in control would sometimes be a good idea. As in, let's just kick out all these crazy old men out of government and put some women with different priorities in charge and see what happens. So I wrote this song about that, and it was called Vulvagun. And when it came time to choose a name for the band, that one just kind of, excuse the expression, but it really stuck out. So we just kind of went with it, and we didn't know how the album was going to go or how the band was going to go. And it's one of those words that if you say it over and over again, it tends not to mean anything. So it's not a word that's been used before. I googled it. There was nothing on Google, so I thought at least it's original. And if it sparks a bit of controversy, then that's okay. But the truth of it is that if metalheads are offended by that, then geez, maybe they're listening to the wrong kind of music, because we've got to make sure that metal stays controversial, that it pricks the ears of the people that don't like it, and that it sends a bit of a message of, this is what we do and we do what we want.
Well, I tell you right now, it's a perfect name for a metal band, that's for sure.
That's right.
I was a little shocked when I saw the name of myself when Carl had sent me the link to your music on his label a while back. He said you got to really check out this band, and when I saw it in print, I was just like, okay. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, that's right, and that's the good thing about it. Like if you've got a name that's, if we were called, I don't know, Fiery Dragon Sky, then people are going to know exactly what we're about. And if you've got something a little bit different, and people say the name doesn't sort of allude to what we're about, and that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't pigeonhole us. It means that we can do what we want, and that doesn't mean we're going to suddenly record a glam album or an industrial album. It just means that we're not the same as everybody else in as far as that goes. Anyway.
Okay.
I hope that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely does. It definitely does. Since there's like new people listening every week on my show, I see that people enjoy these interviews that I do, and I get a lot of good feedback on them, especially all the different types of bands I get, whether it's heavy metal, progressive, female fronted, and stuff like that. And the one question I always ask is, because as much as I like doing these shows, I'm also a fan, and I like to know about the bands as much as I can. What's the history behind Vulvagun? How'd you get the band started?
Well, I produce a lot of other music for people, and I've always written my own music as well. I've always been in bands, and there came a point when actually I was writing and recording, and I was working with the band in the studio and producing their album, and I played them a few different things, and they kind of said, why don't you have your own thing together? And I just said, well, I don't really know. So they kind of encouraged me to get something out there, and what usually happens is I'll write 3 or 4 songs that are of a certain vein, and then I'll move on to something else that's a little bit different. But because I had a kind of a direction in mind, I was able to cobble together 20 or 30 songs that actually felt like they were a part of the one project. So as soon as I had the embryo of that, I thought I can actually probably get this album out and get it done. So I called a couple of friends who I thought that might be interested in being in the band and playing on the album, and that's the embryo of it. So it started out as just an idea and as a studio project and as a writing project, and it's turned into something a little bit more than that over the last sort of 12 months, I guess.
Oh, very cool. Now, with Cool Moon Over Babylon, is this basically a concept album, or does it just have like an idea behind it?
A little bit of both. I love the idea of writing a concept album because I'm really into into storytelling and that kind of thing. But you've got to be really, really good at telling a story. And I've got 1,000 stories I could tell, but it just depends how good you are at telling them. And so I decided what I would do was not tell a story, but stick to a theme. And this album is definitely hangs around a theme. I mean, when you're competing with bands like Queensryche and maybe even going back as far as bands like Yes and Frank Zappa, who could put together a concept album and do it really well. I just don't think I've got I don't know that I can hold someone's interest for 40 minutes or an hour or whatever. So, this one, I decided that it was going to definitely revolve around a theme. And unfortunately, that's come off. A lot of the reviews have really picked up on the idea. And so I'm really happy with that. That's good that people have listened to it enough to pick up on that.
Oh, that's great, and the reviews have been good from what I understand. And how's the album doing itself? Are you getting it out there and people enjoying what they're hearing?
That's right. We get a lot of emails and have had a lot of good reviews, and they're universally positive, and which is great. People like it, and it's selling really well. We're only at the moment selling it through. It's going through our website. The actual CD itself is selling through our website, and we get orders every day, and which is great. And we're looking for distribution in Australia at the moment, and we've actually got a distributor in Germany now who is getting albums out through Europe, which is great. We're still getting lots of orders from Europe though, which is encouraging. So yeah, it's doing a lot better than we expected. It's overwhelming. So, but with the support of a lot of the reviews and people like yourself who don't have any, they just do it off their own back. They just decide that they're into the music and they're going to help promote it. It's just it's overwhelming, and we thank you all for it.
Oh, I appreciate that, but let me tell you, I was talking to someone on Facebook earlier before the show, and I don't play anything I don't like. So I feel that even though I only have a 2-hour show once a week, I try to jam it as much music in it as possible that I like, that I want people out there to hear, and I'm always pushing for people who do listen to the show to go out on Facebook and let the bands know that they heard them wherever they hear them, and to me that just creates more support for the band. It gets the band out there, because it could just be a ripple effect,
Well, that's right. And that's the great thing about people like yourself who just do it off their own bat. They don't have any other reason than their love of the music, and it's a testament to the technology as well. What would we do without the internet? We'd still be. No one would know who anyone was. So it's great. That's
cool. Now, do you have any plans for the upcoming year?
Yeah, we will be releasing a second album in 2012. I'm writing that at the moment and sort of recording as I go along, and so it's definitely going to have the album out probably in the second half of the year, and hopefully we will be able to do some shows this year as well. We haven't been able to so far because a few of the members in the band are with other bands, and they're otherwise engaged, and they have priorities, and those bands are touring and doing stuff overseas and recording. So our band is day by day. So hopefully we will be able to play this year. People are really asking us to, so which is really encouraging. So the only problem is we'll have to learn the songs. So.
That's good. Are you going to hope to work with the same bunch of guys that you were working with on Cold Moon?
Oh, absolutely. Yep, that is the band, and that's the way it's going to stay, hopefully. And I've got some great players in the band. They're guys that I've been friends with for many, many years, and they're people I've been in bands with before. We've all been in bands together, but not with each other, if you know what I mean. So everyone's has played with other people, the other guys in the band, but this is the first time we've come together as one band, and it's really working well. They're great musos and good guys, and I'm lucky to have them on board. That's
very cool, Wayne. I got one more quick question for you. How is it to have a band in Australia? I mean, is there like a big scene? Do bands get together and try to promote themselves and get out on tour, or is it kind of a sprinkling here, a sprinkling there?
It's tough here. You got to remember, it's the country itself is the same size as the United States physically, but there's like 6 major cities and that's it. And the rest is just the middle of Australia is no one lives there. So if you tour Australia, you're 1,000 miles between each city, and you might get 2 gigs in each town. So a tour can be limited unless you're doing smaller towns as well. And the problem with smaller towns is they don't have the people who are into this kind of music so much. So getting the word out there is really tough. I've been in metal bands here since I was 18 and or younger. I think I did my first metal gig when I was 15, and
wow.
It is impossible to well, it certainly was before the internet, to get the name out there. It's really hard. And the venues here, they've changed a lot of the laws with the venues, and there's poker machines going into a lot of the venues, and live music is getting pushed out. But we make the best with what we've got. So it's a lot of word of mouth here. Metal is very, very underground here.
Wow. Okay, Wayne, just let everybody know if they're interested in getting the Vulvagun Cold Move Over Babylon CD, where can they get it?
Cold Moon Over Babylon is available on our website, which is vulvagun.com. You can go there and just order via PayPal, or you can head over to Blue Freya. That's BLUEFREYA.com, bluefreya.com, and you can buy that with a credit card. It's also available on iTunes. So they're the main places. So it's all internet based. But if you buy the CD itself through our website, I mean, you get a physical CD. It's only $12.99 Australian, which is just over $13 American, and that's including postage. So it's a good deal, and you get the full package.
That's very cool, Wayne. I appreciate the time. Thank you so much, and good luck with the disc. And the door's always open. If you ever listen and you want to chime in, you know how to reach me.
Absolutely, and I really thank you for your time, and thanks for the support. We can't do it without you, and Rock Gator Radio has certainly been one of at the forefront of helping this band get aired. So thank you, we really appreciate it.
All right, Wayne, thank you too, and you enjoy the rest of your vacation.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to have a beer right now. Thanks, James.
All right, take care now. Good night.
Good on you, mate.
Bye-bye.